Welcome back, you glorious superfan. The game is back on and waiting for you. So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light Platinum. With 6% alcohol, they're brewed for the night. And so are you.
Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Welcome to Thursday Night Football presented by Bud Light Platinum, and welcome to Inglewood, California, as we get ready for this matchup in the AFC West, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers. And now welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck. That's the Hall of Famer Troy Aikman. Those are the standings in the AFC West, and why here at the beginning of Week 15 this game is so important. It's a battle for first place in the division. You and I see a lot of the NFC compared to the AFC. That means we don't get to see Justin Herbert play a lot. In just his second year, he has shot right to the top of the class. This kid is spectacular.
He really is. He's a special player, and you watch him from last year and where he is now. He's playing the best football of his career, and this is a big game for him, the biggest of his young career when you look at that. The first time to possibly be able to sweep the Kansas City Chiefs in almost a decade. If they are able to win this ball game, they come out of this on top of the division. And, of course, if they're going to do that, he's going to have to continue to play at the same level that he's been playing throughout much of this year.
Yeah, he's coming off his season-high passer rating. You can say the same for Patrick Mahomes, who's coming off his season-high against the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday. Yeah, he's doing what we typically see Patrick Mahomes do, but this 6-game winning streak is due in large part to the turnaround on defense.
Yeah, it really is. Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator, has just done a terrific job, and it's why they have won these last 6 ball games. And also as a result of that, because they've been able to hold the score down, the offense has been able to be more patient. Patrick Mahomes hasn't had to try to force throws down the field and make the big plays. They're running the ball a little bit more here over the last 2 to 3 games than they were earlier in the season. This should be a lot of fun. There's a lot of excitement here in the stadium. Can't wait.
Yep, me too. For more on the Chiefs, let's go down to the field and Christina Pink.
Me three. Well, Kansas City has won the AFC West for 5 consecutive seasons. Now, this game won't decide the division, but it will certainly put the Chiefs in the driver's seat. So how big is it? It's super big. That's the way Patrick Mahomes described it to me moments ago. But Travis Kelce putting even more emphasis. He said this game is everything. Short week, division rival. He said we know that this Chargers team is knocking at the door. Now, Aaron Andrews, how do the Chargers view this matchup?
Well, I'll tell you what their quarterback Justin Herbert thinks. I asked him, you know, at the beginning of the season, if I told you in Week 15 you'd have an opportunity to play for the lead in your division, what would you have told me? And he said, I think that'd be pretty tough to believe because of what we went through last year. At one point, they were 3-9. They were giving up games they needed to win. But he said, no one quit in this group. We put our head down and we went to work. He said, tonight's a great opportunity. That didn't scare me, but he said, it'll show us a lot about our team. Did you get scared, Joe Buck?
I did. I always do. And I'm proud of you, Aaron. You have nerves of steel. I would have flinched. I would have lost it. Spanish language broadcast available tonight on Fox Deportes. Kansas City won the toss. They deferred. Chargers start the night with a ball. And the Chiefs have brought a lot of their fans to town with them. Chiefs fans travel well. We all know that. And there is a lot of red in the seats tonight. This home game for the LA Chargers. Either way.
Take on the Giants, then Packers, Ravens. Sunday on Fox. Check for the game in your area.
And 7-zip, KC. The great Dan Marino threw 68 touchdown passes over his first 2 seasons. Coming into tonight, 61 so far for Justin Herbert. It was the first quarterback with 30 or more in each of his first 2 seasons. And he is less than 40 pass yards shy of breaking Andrew Luck's record of 8,196 pass yards through his first 2 seasons. Now down by 7. Here's tonight's professional grade presented by GMC. And there's the number of 30-plus touchdown passes in each of his first 2 seasons. First player in NFL history. And I know, Troy, for you, somebody who, let's just say, the first year was not very kind in the NFL for you, that ended up in Canton, Ohio. You have to just marvel at what this kid has done in a short time. There's Platinum back after this. We start week 15, Kansas City on top, the Chargers right behind. Denver Broncos are 7-6, and the Raiders have slipped all the way to 6-7, and they were dismantled on Sunday in Kansas City. Here are the numbers for the Chiefs on defense. The first 7 games, they were 3-4, and you look at the turnover differential at the bottom there. The points per game, how that's changed over the last 6. That turnover differential from -10 to +10. Let's take a look at tonight's quarterback comparison presented by the Matrix Resurrections. And we see the season numbers for Herbert on the right, Mahomes on the left. The guy on the left, a former league MVP in 2018, and the guy on the right seems destined for that kind of coronation at some point. Stay tuned for the 2-minute warning for a special look at the Matrix Resurrections. Down 3. In 1960, in the AFL, you think about names like Coryell, Hadel, Allworth, Dan Fouts, who we'll talk about as this game goes on, Russ Washington, Charlie Joyner, Kellen Winslow, Gil Bird, Leslie O'Neal, on, and one day he'll be part of their history. He already is, but just getting started is this kid.
Coming up on the Toyota Halftime Show, we'll break down the first half of the Chiefs and Chargers. Speaking of break it down, Terry, you really this sad with Thursday Night Football leaving Fox?
I'm just sad I'm never going to be able to make Troy and Joe laugh hysterical at another Toyota halftime promo.
There's Allen with a catch. Huge playoff implications on NFL Network. First at 4:30, the Raiders take on the Browns. Then in prime time, the Patriots face the Colts. It's an NFL Saturday doubleheader only on NFL Network and the NFL app.
Hey, and how good was that by Terry? I mean, people say he can't act.
No.
Come on.
First half. And those are some points left out there by the Chargers in this important game. 10-0 Kansas City. 14 unanswered so far put up by the Chargers. And the lead at the half of 14-10. Stay tuned. The Toyota Halftime's coming up next.
Want more stats? Just ask Siri. Who leads the league in passing touchdown?
The end of this 4-year run has been a blast. Glad you're with us, and off we go. Here's Burton, hops his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Herbert takes that toss, takes it in. Chargers hurry it up, and this one for the touchdown. Chargers on top. That was tonight's game flow brought to you by Progressive. 14-10 is the score with the Chargers on top. Kansas City about to get the ball to start the second half. Impressive turnaround in that first half by the Chargers. They got down 10-0 early. They saw that scary injury with Donald Parham Jr., and yet they have the 4-point lead at the half.
Yeah, and then the Chargers, they got inside the 5-yard line 4 times. They come away with 2 touchdowns. They go for it on 4th down. They don't come away with anything. It looks great when it works, and when it doesn't work, you always kind of feel like you're chasing those points a little bit. And I think maybe Brandon Staley was right before the half in going for 2 there. But what a great job by Kansas City and Daniel Sorensen. You know, he had been through his slump a little bit earlier in the year, comes up with a huge play on 4th down, did not give up any points because he had his man for a touchdown, but shaping up for a heck of a second half here.
Down to Christina Pink.
Well, Joe, just some observations from that first half. Another opportunity here for Kansas City, but you could sense Patrick Mahomes and this Chiefs offense getting antsy towards the end of that first half when the offense started to stall. You can watch Mahomes under his playmakers and Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill watching silently while the Chargers were moving the ball. Also, the noise might be playing a factor here. Mahomes holding on to his helmet on one of those 3rd downs, struggling to hear the calls.
40 is Hardman. Let's send it down to Aaron Andrews.
Well, coming out of the half, Brandon Staley told me he was just so proud of his group for staying connected. He said what a challenging way to start this game. They were riding the high of this emotion coming out, playing on prime time, and then they saw their teammate Donald Parham stretchered off. They do not have an update on his condition. They are hoping to get one soon, and obviously he said he would relay that to the players. But here on defense, guys, very proud of the way they stopped the run. They look to do it more in the second half.
It will come. Obviously in the land of celebrities in Los Angeles, Adele is here, Jay-Z. Our friend Rob Riggle, who I think was actually on the phone with Kurt Menefee and Terry Bradshaw when he was laughing. They were making fun of his sweater, and that's Keegan-Michael Key. Will be hosting the NFL Honors on Thursday, February 10th. Down gets 2. The Chargers have announced that the team is set to construct a new team headquarters and training facility on a 14-acre site in nearby El Segundo. The facility is estimated to be completed by the spring of 2024 outside the main building that spans nearly 145,000 square feet, 3 natural grass practice fields, lap pools, esports gaming, and content studios. Longtime rivals from back in the days of the AFL to now the AFC West in this Week 15 matchup. And a drive that'll start at the 25. On Tuesday, the Chargers and Trina's Kids Foundation joined together to fill the field, goal line to goal line, after conducting several toy drives this holiday season. Over 100 volunteers laid out 15,000 plus unwrapped gifts. And underprivileged children were able to select as many toys as they could carry to take home for the holidays. The remaining toys will be donated and distributed to families in need. Schedule on Fox. Doubleheader weekend on our network with America's Game of the Week following these games early. Cowboys and Giants, Washington and the Eagles, Packers and the Ravens. And the man on the far right, Lamar Jackson, still questionable with that ankle injury. Presented by Tide. And whatever we're about to show you, and I have no idea, well, here it is. I didn't know we were going to go through video or just give it to you graphically, because you almost can't go through everything that's happened in this game. But the numbers for Mahomes, Herbert, Chargers have been good on the ground with 192 rush yards, a season high. Chiefs win it.
There's not a whole lot to this route by Kelsey. A little shallow crosser. He catches the ball, and then just a lot of bad angles, and you can't even say poor tackling. Nobody even got really close enough to him because the angles were so poor in trying to make a play. I'm not sure Kelsey could believe either that a catch like that would turn in to the walk-off winner.
How about a career-high 191 yards for the sensational Travis Kelce. His second touchdown is the game winner, and the Chiefs extend their winning streak to 7 in a row and now have a commanding lead in the AFC West. What a game, what a night, and what a win for the Chiefs here on the road. And the Chargers now have lost 8 straight home games to Kansas City. It's a 6-point overtime win for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Progressive postgame show is coming up next. 34-28. Thanks for watching Thursday Night Football, presented by Bud Light Platinum. What a game.